Hi, everyone.
Hey, you guys.
How are we all doing? All right, you guys. So before we get started on the episode, we want to make a quick disclaimer that obviously we're back. Elena and Robert back season 2 is here. And the first episode, of course, our luck, the first episode got fucked up. And what I mean by that is the mic wasn't working. However, the phone on my phone, the mic was working, but I had it stuffed in the blanket. So throughout the episode, you'll hear our voices get a little muffled because, you know, the mic was kind of like under the blanket. However, it was a really good episode, so we didn't want it to go to waste. So we're going to upload it anyways. Just bear with us on the audio. It just sounds muffled, so you might have to turn it up a little bit to hear us. But we want you guys to have the episode anyways, okay?
Yes, and with further ado, this is Elena's Raw and Bareback Season 2, baby!
Oh my god, you guys, how are we all doing? We are back, Dani and I, for Elena Raw and Bareback Season 2. Podcast is back.
We're back, you guys.
Happy holidays. It is the holidays.
Just in time.
We thought we were really festive with our pajamas. But today's topic, you guys, is going to be a little controversial.
So it's controversial.
And some of you guys will agree and be able to relate. Some might not, which is perfectly okay. It's just that you don't fit in the category. But what is the topic, Dani?
So the topic today is going to be the high relationships. What was it?
Success rate.
I can't even say it because it's so long. The high relationship success rate.
And keep in mind, this isn't like a thing. It's just something that Dani and I put together.
We put it together because
we see so many fucking trannies on TikTok whining, bitching, and crying about how they're alone and how they're never gonna find love. And it's so annoying, honestly, because it's like, bitch, step outside. Like, quit.
I will be scrolling TikTok and like on my For You page, like they just know, I guess, but I'll just see a post and it's like a trans person being like, no one wants to date me. This, that, this. And then I click on their page and it's just all about them being trans. And I'm like, maybe that's why, babe. Like, I hate when people make that their whole personality. Like, there's way more to you as a person than just that. And I don't know. I just feel like so many pages are like that these days. And it's like, that's not the truth. Like, boys will definitely date you. Girls, boys. It's just you have to come at it the right way, I feel. You know what I mean? I don't know.
And like, keep in mind, a lot of these straight men that are dating these trans girls, they want a stealth cis looking trans. Like, what would you even like? What
are you saying?
Like a trans girl.
Are you saying like a possible trans girl?
But like lives like a cis life. Like no one knows she's trans. You know. But like,
that's what they want. You're saying. Okay, like, that's what you're saying. And so, why do you say that? Like, how do you feel that way? Like, why do you feel that way?
I doubt there's any straight man who's like. I mean, maybe he's really open to it, but a lot of the times, now, would this tie down to, like, being a DL boy? I don't think so.
I think to, like, a certain extent.
Yes. But
which we did also make a video about that, so go watch that one right now if you haven't.
It's called DL Straight Looking for Now. But I think it ties down to just, like, they like trans girls. They like females. They love a girl with a little bit of something extra.
But they want that extra to be so secret that no one would ever consider it or like, know that it was there.
Exactly. And so when you're blasting that shit on like social media,
yeah, it's like that's why they probably don't want to deal with all that.
And if it's gonna be any guy who's gonna want to date that, most likely he's gonna be like, yes, I love trannies. I love trannies. It's like beating off his cock to the idea.
Oh my god!
Of a tranny.
Actually, speaking of such a funny story, this is totally random and like not tied to this topic at all. And actually, they might be watching right now. But I got this DM, right, and it was someone that watches our podcast. It was like a man. Anyways, and he definitely slid into my DMs being like, I'm such a big fan of like you and Elena, like being kind of flirty. And I click on his page and he like has a whole ass wife who's trans.
It's so disgusting.
And I'm like, why are you
Wait,
like...
she was trans?
The wife was trans.
Oh,
and I'm like, I don't know. It was just a very flirty message with like winky faces and all. And it's just like, I don't know. I mean, I think like one thing is saying like, oh, we love your show. But it was very much just coming from a place of like somewhere else. And
somewhere else, babe, his cock.
Yeah, basically. And it was just like, oh my God. Like, he might, like, I guess in her eyes, like the wife's eyes, who was like trans, like she's like, oh my God, I settled down with this amazing guy that like loves me. But I mean, I wouldn't want my husband in some random girl's DMs, like saying questionable, like, you know, suggestive things.
And it's so gross because...
Of course I responded and I was like, oh my God, thank you. Like,
you're feeding into it, you whore.
Oh my God, no. Elena. I responded and I was like, oh my God, thank you. Like, we love the feedback. I kept it cute. Relax. I'm not that desperate.
And then you said cash out, DaniBaby XO.
Right, imagine.
No, but it's like...
I'm like, speaking of, my cash app is that. No, I'm just kidding.
No, it's because we are such a specific kind of like category in females that like... It takes a certain type of men to like us. And so, like, if they're going to like us, they're going to like a lot of other girls like us. So, it's such a small fishbowl. It's kind of disgusting.
So small. To the point where we all just, like, date each other. And it's
at this point, we're just dating each other. But this ties down to, like, what I was saying. Like, the trans community relationship success rate is so low because...
The relationship success rate.
Is so low. And what I mean by that is kind of, like... So many girls...
Wait, can we, like, come with a nickname? The RSR? Relationship Success Rate. RSR.
Yeah.
That's, like, easier to say than the whole, like, relationship success rate.
But that's just so much more fun,
Okay,
you know?
fine. We'll say the whole word.
Just targets you. Oh, it's high. HRSR.
High. No, yeah, HRSR. That's yours. The high one.
Mine is the high one.
But we'll get into that. We'll get into that in a couple of minutes. But go on.
But what I mean is kind of just like so many girls, so many trans girls, you can admit it, we get so much dick.
Way too much.
We get a lot of dick because there are so many curious men. But what we fail to realize is that a lot of us trans girls, we fail to get into relationships as well. I mean, no. We don't fail getting...
I wasn't listening.
Yeah, I said we fail to get dick. No. We get so much dick, but we fail at relationships. We don't really get that a lot because guys just want to fuck us and use us, but they never ever want to settle down with us. And why is that?
Well, I just think it's still so... I mean, like, so trans people have been around forever, but it's just becoming normalized in this weird way. And
but what I hate about it is, like, now that it's being normalized, people are making it their entire personality and then bringing us a negative message of them can't find love.
Yeah, it's like, I don't think that's true. I think it's just, you know, I don't know.
Like being trans is so normalized on TikTok right now, but it's being normalized in the wrongest ways. Like, when we see someone trans on, like, TikTok, it's never anything positive. It's always them, like, pitying themselves, talking about, like...
And then the comments are just so annoying. It's always the same comment. But yeah, they're always pitying themselves, and it's like...
Being like, we can't find love. Why am I still single? This and that. And I honestly don't get it, because when you put that out there, any man looking at that is going to be like, oh my God, wow, no guy really wants to date you.
And
like,
also, with that being said, when you're putting that out there, and that, like, the energy, your energy is going to, like... You know, the universe is going to, like, you know, reflect off of that and bounce back, and it's just going to... You have to be confident, you know?
Exactly. And I'm just tired of it, honestly. And I wanted to stop.
Which is why she made this fucking topic of the high relationship success rate. Which is why we're doing this now.
Which I'm going to get into that because...
Yeah, let's get into it, Elena.
A lot of girls have low relationship success rate.
I would say I have a low relationship success rate. Like, I've had, what, one boyfriend?
Yeah,
I mean, we could say it, Michael. But anyways, he was still a shitty boyfriend, so I don't even count that.
Yeah.
And I had, like, everything else were, like, things. I feel like trans girls have things.
We have things. We have little flings here and there. But
we have things, like, we're talking to someone and then, like, it never goes official, or, like, it goes official, but it's, like, not actually, like, what you wanted it to be, if that makes sense.
It never surpassed anything more than just a talking stage.
Yeah.
Just, like, hooking up.
They get bored.
Talking.
Or, like, it's a hookup, or it's, like, you even meet each other's friends, but you never meet the family, or it's, like, something, like, really
like,
weird.
It's just, like, you never get the girlfriend title. And I see so many girls just having such low success rate because It's on TikTok. They're talking about it. They're constantly like crying about how they can't find love, this and that. And I was talking to Dani. I was like, oh my God, like this is so funny because this is an actual thing. Like, I never thought that this was like a thing until I kept seeing it on TikTok with every single trans girl on TikTok crying about how they can't find love. And I was like, wait, is it not common for trans girls to find love?
And okay, so it was actually funny because the topic came up because we were talking about, like, it was a joke at first. Like, it was a joke. Like, we were dying laughing because we were like, okay, Elena has a high relationship success rate. And it was just like, so her and I just went on a trip. We'll get into that as well. And during the whole trip, I was just like, oh my God, this girl really does have a higher relationship success rate. Or just like, she just has always had like good luck with love. Like, basically everything Elena is just like not what a trans girl is, if that makes sense. Like, her experience is so different from everyone else's. And I think me being her best friend, like, I can recognize that. And so we were just laughing the whole weekend. Like, we were like, we should make a whole podcast out of it, like, whatever. And so we're going to get into, like, you know, all of that.
So basically, Danielle has a point. Like, I hate to sit here and toot my horn, but I'm going to fucking do it anyways because, duh, I have the highest success rate when it comes to, like, relationships.
I've had a lot of relationships, and I've only known you for a few of them, but...
I've had so many relationships, and I don't just mean, like, things. I mean, like, I've had the girlfriend title. I've met the parents. I've done that so many times. It's actually ridiculous. And you guys can sit here and be like, oh, because I've seen comments where they're like, oh, but they don't last, though. Elena's relationships, they never last.
Oh, okay.
But then it's kind of like this. I got a man to settle down with me, call me his girlfriend, bring him home to the family. It may not last, but I've had that happen.
You're like, but honey, that's still a win in itself, and I'm going to take it.
And it's like, it may not last, babe, but like, I have had a man do that to me so many fucking times, over and over and over, because every guy, I can't help it, but like, every guy just wants me to be their girlfriend.
I guess there's just something in the air.
And the thing is they're all hot guys.
Everybody clap for Elena.
Yeah, like, this is a pick me podcast. Pick me. Love me.
Pick her.
Pick me.
No,
and it's fucking true. Like,
it is true. And I've seen it firsthand. I'm just like, what is this bitch doing? I'll come over and like, yeah, whatever. It's just a random boy there. And then they like spend the holidays together. And I'm just like, who is this boy? They're doing all these dates. She's meeting the parents. I'm just like, what? And he's just around, and then one day he's just like, poof, he's gone, and she does the same thing again.
And I have a new guy who's like, oh, this is my new boyfriend. And it's like, I've had my fair shares of flings and things, and like, oh, we're talking, but I've also had so many fucking boyfriends, and I just got out of a relationship. Within a week, we went to San Francisco, and I met this guy there, and he was already like wanting me to be his girlfriend. We went on one date. We went on one fucking date, and already he was like, okay, I'm going to look at my work schedule. I'm going to try. Because he owns a restaurant. He's fucking loaded. He owns...
Oh, I didn't know he owned a restaurant.
Girl, he owns like 5.
What restaurant? Oh, well, I mean, you don't have to say it, but like, what kind of food?
Mediterranean.
It's Mediterranean. But okay.
Yeah. So he owns that. And so he has like 5 restaurants. And so he was like, okay, I have to I have to balance out like which ones I'm going to take care of while I fly down to see you and like be with you. And I was like...
Wait, he owns 5 restaurants? That's crazy.
He opened up 5 restaurants in 5 locations.
Okay. Where are the locations? Sorry, now I'm just like I'm interested.
I'm going to be honest, girl.
You didn't listen.
He told me I didn't care enough to grasp onto
Oh, that's another thing. So basically, while these boys are falling in love, she's just living her fantasy and just like they're explaining things to her, telling them about themselves, and it's just going one in one ear and out the other. And so basically, I always ask her. I'm always like, "Oh, you met a new guy, Elena? Like, what does he do?" Her, "Oh, I don't know. I don't know what he does." I'm like, well, "What do you guys talk about?" She's like, "We just talk." I'm like, okay, well, what is, like, why? How do you not know what that guy does for a living? She's like, I don't know, we just don't talk about it. Like, he definitely told me, but I don't remember.
And then, like, next week I'm meeting his parents. and
it's so the funniest thing, because she just goes into it not knowing shit about anything. Like, I wouldn't put it past her if she forgets his name even. But, like, it's the funniest thing. Did it happen?
Girl, yes. Remember when I was sitting there and I was like...
Oh, my God, it happened. So, basically... I'm going to try to tell the story, but basically, like, something happened, and she was using one of my guys' names as an example. And I was like, why don't you just use the guy sitting next to you? And it's because she forgot his name.
After we went on a whole ass date together, and it was so romantic, and it was so cute. I sat there for like 3 seconds.
I was like, why are you using Jason's name when you keep using his name? And then like later on, she told me in the car, she's like, girl, I forgot his name for like a minute. And so I had to just come up with something, and I used your guys' name. And I was like, oh, got it. Okay.
But back to what we were saying.
Yeah.
My relationship with sex. My relationship.
Okay, how many like relationships would you count?
There was Sam. There was Taylor, my fiance, my ex-fiance. Oh my God, I was engaged too. So I can't believe I forgot about that. I was engaged. That's how high my success rate is. Like the fact that I was.
So you can find love. Don't worry, ladies. It's out there.
Yeah, so I was engaged. And then after him, it was Saphiric. And then before him, it was Trevor.
Okay, I've never heard who... Is that the 6'6" guy?
6'6". It was Trevor.
The really old one.
He was hot. I think he was like 30. Had a bike.
He wasn't old, but
he was older.
Yeah.
He was definitely the oldest.
But it was when
he like met my mom and dad.
Okay, yeah.
And like he like pulled up in a motorcycle where mom and dad were like kind of just like.
Are your mom and dad ever like, oh my God, like are they just like not phased at this point of you bringing home white boys with tattoos?
I mean, they're kind of just kind of like, I feel like they're kind of like amazed because in their head, I know they still look at me as kind of like their son. So they're like, oh my God, wow, like my son's pulling like these hot guys, like wow. And it's so funny because my mom thinks that these guys that I'm dating are gay because she looks at me as kind of like a dude still.
Oh my God, Elena.
Like it's so fun and like it's so cute though,
which is so funny because okay, if you've ever met her family, sweetest people ever, they're amazing, love them, but they treat her like royalty and it's the cutest thing ever. And so when I hear that, I'm like, what are you talking about? Elena, that's not true. They look at her as a girl. You don't have to say all that.
They call me Elena. They do all this, but like whenever I bring home a guy, my mom always goes, oh, so like he's gay? And I'm like, Mom.
I feel like that's just like a mom thing. Like a lot of like mother, because even my mom like has her moments where I'm like, Mom, like what? And I just think it's like a, you know, I mean, we're so
like with the
times. Yeah, we're so with the times, and it's like, you know, with our like, you know, parents and stuff, it's like they'll, as long as they love and accept you, it doesn't really matter like that, because it's like sometimes they just don't get it, and that's okay. So it's, you know.
Well, a lot of guys that I bring home, they're just kind of like, oh, he's gay? He doesn't look gay. And I'm like, Mom, he's with me. He's not gay. And she was like, I know, but you have a dick. And I'm like, okay, but I don't look like a guy. And she was like, yeah, but you have a dick, and he likes that. So, like, is he gay? And I'm like...
Your mom's just very blunt, it sounds like.
She's just very, like, okay. Like, she thought my ex was, like, bisexual and gay.
Which one?
My most
Because, you know,
one.
you have such a high success rate. Such a high relationship
yes,
success
Danny, thank
rate.
you for picking me. But, yeah, she thought all my exes were gay. But there was Sam.
Okay, we got Sam, we got Trevor,
Taylor, my fiance, Saphiric, and then after Saphiric, it was my most recent one.
Mm-hmm.
So 5 relationships. I basically had 1 relationship every year.
And do you think, like, okay, maybe I'm the problem because you've had so many, or like, what do you think?
No, because I leave them all. Like, I've never been dumped.
Okay.
Sam, I broke up with him.
So you get bored.
I get bored.
Okay.
And then I jump onto the next guy, and there's always the next guy wanting to cuff me and bring me home.
Okay.
And that's just me being a pick-me girl.
I love that, though. I love that, and I love that we're in 2021 and we can use the term pick-me, and it's just the funniest thing ever.
It's such a pick-me vibe, but you know what, bitch? I don't care because I'm getting cuffed up, you're sitting there single laughing at me. So, Anyways, so I called up all my, like, I've never been dumped. I've always called them. The fact that I called up an engagement, like, I'm actually a psycho. Like, I could have been engaged,
Okay, so what brought that, like, why did that happen? Like, why
because,
did you do that?
I mean, like, we were just, like, in the same situation. We were always either at his house, my house, in bed doing nothing but fucking. We weren't progressing in life at all. I wanted more, and he was, like...
Did you want to, like, be able to experience more guys and, like, see the world?
No, it definitely wasn't that,
like...
because, girl, in high school, I was experimenting a lot of guys.
Okay, in high school, she lived her, like, fantasy already.
I experimented enough in high school, but it was the fact that it was kind of just, like, we weren't progressing in life. I wanted more, and he was fine with where we were. And so I was kind of like, if I say yes to this marriage, and, like, we do end up getting married, this might be my life. Like, this will be our fucking
You just
life.
weren't ready. And how old were you again?
I was 19.
Okay, see, trans or not, 19 and getting married, I don't like that. Like, you need to be able to, like, live your life.
Exactly.
You know?
And so
I mean, you weren't even able to, like, legally drink yet.
I wasn't.
And that's crazy.
I would have not had my bar life experience,
You
my nightlife.
Have. Good thing you met me.
Right. So I've had a total of 5 relationships that were, like, that I consider, like, my actual boyfriends. And I got the girlfriend title from every single one. And there were other times where I've, like, gone out with guys and dated them. Like, never got to the girlfriend part, but I still met their family. I remember I went out with this guy once, okay?
Name.
We'll call him Bitch Face. So I went. I'm just kidding. We're not gonna call him Bitch Face. But I went out with this guy. It was our first date, and he was telling me about his family. And he was like, "Oh yeah, my mom and dad, they died."
Okay, now I know who we're talking about.
And then my mom died. Like, basically, he lost his mom and dad in 1 year. Like, in that 1 year, he's lost both parents.
So sad. That's crazy. Was it because of COVID, or did you ask? Or,
oh
like...
no! So the dad died of, like, health problems, and the mom and the girlfriend died.
Girlfriend?
Oh yeah, so they were divorced.
Wait, I'm confused. What?
Mom and dad were divorced.
Okay.
And then when they got divorced, mom came out as gay. The mom.
Okay. Oh yes, you did tell me this. Okay.
His mom.
Did the girlfriend die too?
I'm just getting there. His mom got a girlfriend after the divorce, and the dad was single. Dad died, and then mom got a
Health
girlfriend.
Problems.
Yes.
Okay.
And then dad died that year. A few months later, mom died. Mom and the girlfriend died together in a car wreck. So he lost his dad, mom, and mom's girlfriend, which raised him basically, because they split when they were young, when he was young. And so I was talking about it, and I was like, "Oh my god! So who raised you? Like, who's your?"
And it was the grandparents.
Who's your guardian? He said, "Oh, it's my grandparents."
Yeah.
And now he was like, "Oh yeah, they're moving out of their house. They're living with me." And I was like, "Oh, they're living with you right now?" And he was like, "Yeah." And I said, "I want to meet them." And he was like, "Okay." And then I said, "Tonight." And he said, "Okay." So he literally took me home, and I met the grandparents, and they absolutely adored me. We watched The Voice together, and it was so cute. And they knew exactly who I was, and they were like, "Oh my god, you're Elena." And I was like, "How did you know that?"
Wait, that's so cute, because that means he talks about you.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
So he talked about me to them already, whether it was like FaceTiming or like texting or something, but they definitely knew who I was. And I was like, okay, cute. Him and I never got to the relationship part because I was still like on and off with my ex. And so like I was like bouncing back and forth. Like, anyways, so that was happening. And yeah, him and I never got to that point though. And then when I flew back to California, him and I still stayed talking. And we were talking, or I don't know if, oh no, we weren't friends yet.
Basically, Elena and I always fall out like every couple of months, and then we come back like 2 weeks later. I don't know, whatever. Yeah, so basically when you and I started talking again, you told me about the situation the night of. Remember? Yeah. So basically I was like, I need to come pick up my boots. I hope you didn't burn them. And she's like, no, I didn't. I was like, okay, can I come get them? Of course, she kidnaps me again, and we talk all night, and we just do the, you know, the usual.
The usual routine at this point.
Basically,
So anyways, and so him and I remained talking, but then like I was still on and off with my ex, and like at the end of the day, I picked my ex over him. So I chose to work on my ex, and backfired because what do you know? He's still my fucking ex. So that was all for fucking nothing. I could have had a whole ass 6'5" boyfriend.
I mean, I feel like you still can. Like, you still talk to him now.
I mean, I could rekindle things, but he'll know it's because like he'll know in his head like I wasn't the first choice, so I'm not gonna make you the first choice, aka your buddy too. When you left him for Jason, he had a whole date with you.
Who?
I think it was Michael.
Ryan?
No, the one from LA.
Michael.
Yes, Michael. Yeah. But anyways, back to me being a pick-me girl.
I'm being such a slap me, Ryan. Oh, Michael. Oh,
girl,
God.
Ryan's trash. He was
Fuck
fucking
Ryan.
weird. But
have you met Ryan? Of course, yeah. You met Ryan.
You the night you met him.
You met him the night. You were there the night I met him. Yeah. You were. Okay.
But
fuck
anyways,
Ryan. No offense if you see this.
Fuck you, Ryan. You can't have your hoodies back.
You're not getting your hoodies back unless you drive to my house, because I will not.
Or go to the Goodwill. They will be there. But anyways, back to me being a pick-me girl. Yeah, I've been in so many relationships, and like you guys can dig at it all you want. They don't last, but like it's a lot more than what you bitches are fucking having, because you guys are on TikTok crying about how you can't even fucking find love.
Basically, for the next couple months, I expect to see no tranny videos on TikTok. Okay? No tranny videos. And if they're tranny videos, They better be uplifting everyone and just being happy. Okay?
Because by you saying you can't find love, you're putting the stigma into the world that trans girls can't find love.
And it's not going to help us. It's going to make everyone look at us like freaks.
Because these pretty girls can't find love. You know, like, if you see a pretty girl and she's trans, you'd be like, oh my God, I bet so many guys want to be with her. And then if you're outing yourself, being like, oh my God, nobody fucking wants to be with me.
And the thing is, the girls posting these are pretty.
They're so pretty.
So I'm like, why are you doing that to
gorgeous girls. And I'm like, why are you doing that? Like, why? And it puts such a bad image out there.
Gorgeous girls, love suit. Have you seen that TikTok?
I saw the gorgeous girls don't pay for anything.
I think it's like a new thing where they're just doing like tons of different things. I think there's one where it's like gorgeous girls love pickles. I don't know. I like pickles.
But yeah, stop doing that, you guys. Like, trans or not, stop putting that out there because you guys can find love. And we're going to break down as to why you can't. First of all, a lot of trans girls... Okay. I'm going to really get shitted on for this.
Okay.
But I don't really care.
Okay.
A lot of these trans girls, they transition to still have gay boy energy. And I know exactly what you guys know exactly what I mean. There are trans girls who literally live cis, act cis, dress cis. They are just unclockable. And then you have the other trans girls that literally transition, but like it looks like drag queen with surgery because they just dress so outlandishly like unique. And I get it. It's your style. But there is a certain point to where it's just like you're being a female and then you're just kind of like transitioning for the sole fact of like getting straight guys. Because they act like gay guys. They talk like gay guys. They just have so much like twink gay behavior that it's like, no
I don't
wonder...
want to be like a hater, but she's so right. And
like no, yeah. You guys know exactly what I'm talking about.
All the comments are going to be like, you guys act like that. You guys are gay boys.
But if that's the case, then why do I have so many boyfriends? So clearly I don't. But like a lot of these guys, a lot of straight guys, they like feminine female energy. And if you're putting that gay energy out there and just surrounding yourself with so much gayness, like for the LGBT community, it's cute. But for a straight guy, dating a trans woman is already hard enough. And if he's going to be dating a trans woman that's just going to be acting like a gay boy, talks like a gay boy, it's like, it's a lot. He's dating a fucking gay boy with like wigs and long hair and surgery. And they don't like that. And that's why, like, God, like, I hate how, like...
Okay, you're making me laugh so much right now.
I honestly hate how, like, this sounds because people are going to look at this like, you're honestly so fucked up. Like, let people be, like, their own personality. But listen... You guys are on TikTok crying about how you're single. I'm telling you what nobody wants to tell you. It's because you probably act like a gay guy. Like, you probably act like gay boys. And guys don't like that. Trust me, all my exes have told me something. They'll be like, oh, I've talked to this girl, but she just acted too much like a little gay boy and I couldn't work. And I was like, really? Like, all the bitches that you guys look up to, the guys that I've dated have talked to those girls. And they all told me the same exact thing. They act like gay boys. They have too much gay energy. They just are like, they act like a gay boy. And it's weird because there is that kind of behavior. There is that trans cis behavior, and then there's that like gay energy.
At this point, I think a lot of people are transitioning because they want straight guys.
Oh my God, 100%.
Because I've seen so many, like a lot of people transition because, I don't know, whatever. Maybe they think they're trans or whatever, but I mean, there's just some people I'm like, why do you act like that? Or like tone it down or like whatever.
Exactly.
Maybe we're being haters. I don't know.
I don't think we're being haters, but like
we're probably being haters.
It's definitely there's definitely a reason why they're still single. And
I mean, listen, like I mean, I don't know. I feel like we're just totally being haters right now.
There definitely is a reason as to why a lot of these girls are single, and it's because of the way that they're behaving. And it's just like they're doing too much.
It's just like take it down a notch, like.
And I know there's that like saying out there where it's like, we don't do it for the guys. But it's like, baby, if you're going to be sitting at home complaining about how you can't get guys.
You're clearly doing it for the guys.
Because it's not working out and you're crying about it. And babe, like, tone it down a bit. Like, straight guys, it's already a lot dating a trans girl. They're going out of their comfort zone. And when you're putting all this gayness into their aura, they're just going to be overwhelmed. And they're going to be like, no. You need to tone it the fuck down, babe. Like, I'm dating because you resemble female, but right now there's just too much gayness happening that it makes me feel gay. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you behave too much like a male gay boy.
I mean, we've had guys say that to us, like that they've gone on dates with other girls and they've acted a certain way. Like, you know, and they're like, I got uncomfortable. Like, why were they acting that way? Or why were they, like, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And they'll talk to us about it, and we're just like, I know, it's because of what's happening. Like, everyone, like, finally finds out what being transgender is, and people are like, oh, I think I'm that. Let's just transition.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe, I don't know. That's just my opinion, but...
I do think
I went to counseling. Like, I went through so many years before I, like, actually, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I'm trans. And then I finally got on hormones. But, like, now I feel like these days they're just letting everyone have hormones and just, like, get on them.
And it's kind of like, a lot of them it's kind of like, I just feel like they're transitioning for the sole fact of, like, oh my God, I get straight men. Because, like it or not, gay guys, gay boys, target straight men. You know they're fucking straight.
You know they do. And honestly, that's also not talked about a lot, is how much hate there is within the community of the LGBTQ. Gay men hate trans girls. Like, they're jealous. They hate us. So many gay guys that me and Elena might see out at the bar, their straight friends will be hitting on us, and they will go up to them and be like, they're trans, you don't want to hit on them. And
it's like, what? Who does that?
And then they'll come up to us and they'll say, like, the straight guys will be like, is that true? And we're like, who told you that? And it'll be our friend, our gay friend, that we thought was our friend. And we're like, what the fuck? And we go up to them, and then they're like, I didn't say that, even though straight boy just said you did. Mm-hmm. So what the fuck is that shit?
And it's annoying because, like...
If it's not, like, if it doesn't concern you, it's not your fucking business. Like, shut the fuck up.
Like, there's that certain kind of personality, though. It's catty. I don't get along with gay, catty, twinky boys.
I don't either.
I've never met a gay twink who likes me. But all, like, the gays who are, like, masculine.
Yeah, because you want to fuck them. No,
they love us.
No,
like,
I know,
like,
I'm kidding.
They're
like, actually,
peers.
yeah.
Like, they're super supportive.
No, honestly, Elena's talking about a certain type of gay guy. They're talking about, like, that crazy, twinky, feminine, like, mean boys. You know? We love gay people. Like,
obviously we do, but they don't love us.
They don't love us, though.
They don't love us.
But Elena's talking just about, like, if you're chill, like, you know, be nice, you know, normal, don't be fucking weird.
And so I think it goes down to kind of just, like, a lot of these gay guys transition to get the straight guys. And that's why they still have that gay boy energy, because they weren't trans to ever begin with.
And see, this whole podcast might come off as dickish and bitchy and condescending and pretentious, but at the end of the day, it's real, and, like, you can't say we're not wrong, because
no one talks about it. And a lot of people like to a lot of people like to be like, this is so wrong, like, we need to, like, be there for each other and just stick up for each other and support each other. But it's
where's
like,
the support within the trans community? Like, we don't have any support. Like, you know, like, I just feel like, I don't know, we're just sticking up for what's taken from us. If that
and
makes
baby,
sense.
this is raw and bare back. We're gonna tell like it is, whether you guys like it or not. Because you can sit and be like, that's not us, like, that's so stupid, but guess what?
It's like trans girls should support trans girls. Honey, not when they're acting that way.
Because they're like, are you really trans?
Right.
Are you just a gay boy in disguise with surgery?
And no one can really know, and I get that, but it's just like, tone it down. You're making a fool of yourself. You're embarrassing our community.
Mm-hmm. And there's just
shut
like...
the fuck up.
And, like, I get it. Let everyone be their own way, but it's kind of like, these people that are acting this way are the same ones that are crying about it on TikTok. And so, baby, we're going to tell you why this is the way and why you're still single. And we're not like fucking legends and we're not like Yoda, but we've been around enough straight men to know why they don't like a certain kind of trans girls. And we're going to tell you right now because they didn't tell you to your face. Tone it down a bit. You're a trans girl, not a gay boy. You're not a drag queen. Like, you don't need to be resembling that much like gay energy.
The energy.
And I know you guys know exactly what kind of gay energy I'm talking about.
Oh my God, I will see. We will be at a dive bar, right? A good dance song comes on. We see a trans girl doing that one gay dance. What is it with the hands? Voguing. I get that's like a trans girl thing, but like...
It's ballroom dancing, but it's kind of like...
But like, why are you doing it?
I've never met a cis girl who vogues. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So it's like...
Is that bad to say? I
no,
feel like we're gonna get so much like, shit
no.
like, for this.
Voguing did come from like the ballroom culture, so it's kind of like a really trans. It's like a trans. It's like
okay. See, I didn't know
it's
that.
It's like ballroom culture.
Okay, I mean, I guess I watched Pose a little bit, so I kind of do know that.
But the thing also, it's kind of like no cis girl ever like vogues.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I've never seen a cis girl vogue.
I just know that like we like Elena and I have been in the presence of like other trans girls doing that in a straight environment. And it makes
really
us feel so uncomfortable because we're just sitting there like with boys.
Like we're living our life.
Like we're just chilling. And then we just see that. And then they're just kind of looking at them funny. And then we're just like, fuck, what the fuck do we do? Like, you know what I mean?
100%. And it's kind of like, that's like gay energy that we're talking about. Like, just like, for example, RuPaul's Drag Race.
Right.
I knew a girl who had a boyfriend, super straight, and she would always make him watch RuPaul's Drag Race, always talks about RuPaul's Drag Race, like, just like all that. And I think at one point it was just too much for him to handle because he's a straight man, you know, like, yeah, do your own thing, live your life. But that was just like, he was one, already dating a trans that was out of his comfort zone. And then two, now he's constantly being around
Wait, who is this?
Oh, I'll tell you off the cameras. Okay. And then now he's constantly being around like this gay environment.
Do I know her?
Yeah. And now he's like constantly being around this like gay environment. It's a lot for a man to handle, let alone a straight guy. So like, and the only way that a guy will ever tolerate that kind of behavior is if he's like a sissy himself, you know? Where he just loves T-girls and he just is a part of the girls, you know? But
one of the girls.
But a straight man that a lot of these girls are targeting and want, most likely they will not be comfortable with the idea of like this much gay aura happening because it's out of their comfort zone. And now it's kind of like you're bringing them into this place of like, he's being introduced to this whole entire gay world. And who knows, maybe if like, he likes you that much, he'll stick through it. But for the most part, a lot of them just can't take it.
No, exactly. And that's why Elena Genevieve has such a high relationship success rate.
Because even though I am, like, the biggest tranny of them all, like, believe me, my career is off of me being trans. Everything about me is transgender.
I just wanted to say high relationship success rate again.
Like, everything about me just embodies, like, that. I'm the epitome of, like, a fucking tranny. But for some reason, I know how to tone it down, and there's like a kind of time and place for everything.
Time and place for sure.
Mm-hmm. And like
we love to have fun, and like we have our moments.
We call
like,
it fagging out.
Yeah,
we love to fag out.
Like we're not being haters, but when you make it your whole personality, like that's when it's like, dude, like there's a time and place, you know?
Yeah, and like
I feel like that's what it is, and I feel like a lot of the people watching this are going to be like, oh my god, you guys are hating, you're being haters. No, we definitely like to fag out. We like to have fun.
Deep down, you know exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah, there's a time and place. Like, just keep it chill, keep it real.
Mm-hmm. And like, guys like a more tamed down girls. And this isn't a lesson of like, oh, live your life for guys. Bitch, the girls who are crying about it, maybe for once, try toning it down and you might see how it might work out in your favor. Because I tone it down all the time and it's like, I'm sissy. I'm a faggot, you know? But it's like...
Can you just hold this for... I need to get a refill.
But like...
Hold that. I'll be right back.
When the time comes, babe, like, I know how to tone it down. And I know how to place this for the night. And I know how to place this in front of the parents. And just, like, be a cis, cute little girlfriend. You know, me being 5'2" and super passable and hot kind of helps. But aside from that, like... Tone it down on the fucking gay energy, on the gay personality. Like, you guys, if you guys want a high relationship success rate, like, chill the fuck out. Like, it's just too much. It really is.
Wait, you guys, I don't think she mentioned it, but she's 5'2" and super possible.
Oh, and then I mentioned you should pick me as well. But, like, this reminds me, and the reason I'm saying this is because, like, I had this guy that I just went on a date with, looking around his whole entire work schedule to balance life with me. And guess
Hold
what?
Hold for a second.
Tomorrow, I'm going to the airport to pick up... Tomorrow, I'm going to the airport to pick up this guy who's going to be flying in to stay with me because he's so in love with me.
This bitch goes, Danny, by the way, tomorrow, around like 11 or 12, this boy's coming to stay with me for the next week. I'm just like, okay, but we have plans to do Christmas things, like shopping and stuff. We'll bring him with us. That's fine.
Because
I'm like, okay,
because he's hot and he's 6'4", super buff. And I was like, you know what? Like, I'm gonna like. He wanted to fly out. He wanted to see me really bad, and I was like, well,
no, he did. He was like texting you and FaceTiming you all weekend.
I just kept denying because I was with the other
me.
guy.
She was with someone else. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, huh?
And then I had this other guy in Atlanta.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I have a guy in Atlanta too. Okay, so these are the two guys in Atlanta. They really want to be with me. One, so I'm kind of juggling two guys in Atlanta, and then one of them is flying out to see me tomorrow. And so I told him, I was like, you know what? Fly out for like a couple of days. This will be a trial run to see if we really like each other before we commit to each other, you know?
Wait, this is the one coming tomorrow?
Yes.
You're down to commit to him? You're just gonna jump right into it like that? Didn't you just, like, get out of a relationship?
Well, I mean, if he's gonna make me happy and
Can you just get this little strand of hair? It's pissing me off.
I mean, if he's gonna make me happy and if he wants more, then I'm like, why would I be opposed to it? Do you know what I mean?
Okay.
Like, he's not a...
You're slowly turning into the type of girl that I was telling you about. The one that just hops from relationship to a relationship and never fully heals.
I can't help it. They all just want to be with me, like I said.
It's just such an HRSR.
My success rate in relationships is so damn high. Like, they just all want to be with me. So I'm going to give them all a chance. And if I happen to like one of them, then I'm going to date one of them and, like, commit to them. But, you know, I'm not going to sit here and be like, it's a flex to, like, have, like, honestly, I'm going to sit here and say, actually, they don't last, but it's a flex that I, like, the fact that I'm able to get a guy to settle down and give me the girlfriend title and meet their family.
Whether it's a couple weeks or a couple months or even a couple of years, you still get it.
It's the fact that I still am managing to get a guy to, like, do that for me, while a lot of these girls are crying about it on, like, TikTok. And I'm not saying I'm better than you, but, like, babe. Like...
she's just saying go out and...
Tone down the gayness.
Become 5'2" and passable and
because I'm
blonde.
Like, here's what I'm saying.
Just kidding.
My success rate in
way.
relationship is so high. Why wouldn't you take advice from someone who's been through it?
You guys, so we were in the Bay this past weekend, and the whole ride home, this was just talking about her super high relationship success rate. I was like, honestly, at this point, make a fucking podcast about it because you're not shutting the fuck up. So just do it so you can get it out of your system, you psycho bitch.
I was just, like, bursting up my
I'm, like,
ego.
driving, trying to get us home through the vigorous mountains. And she's like, yeah, I just feel like it's crazy. Like, I have such a high relationship success rate. I'm like, yeah, Elena, you do. We need to do season 2, so you can start it off with a bang. And just do that and talk about yourself. You love doing that.
So, with that being said, yes, I am a pick-me girl. It is a flex. My relationships don't last, but from what I'm seeing on TikTok, it's a lot better than what a lot of these girls are getting, you know? And, like, I just thought about it. Like, this is such a fun topic because, like, it's not talked about.
Yeah, no, and I get that. I think it's definitely a pretentious pick-me topic, but I mean, it's funny and it makes for good content.
100%.
And it's the truth.
And it 100% is the truth. And I'm going to sit here and dwell on it, babe. Like, I'm sorry that guys just want I'm sorry that guys just want to, like, cuff me up all the fucking time. It's just exhausting juggling all these guys asking me to be their girlfriend officially.
Oh my God, you guys. Okay, funny story. So, on the way to the Bay this past weekend. So... I came over, right, to come get her. I'm like, we're leaving at like 3 p.m. on a Thursday. I was like, I want to go. Like, we were going to stay with our friend Gladys. Like, she was going to be home alone for the weekend. She didn't want to stay alone in San Jose. I was like, okay, because she goes to school there. I was like, okay, I don't want to drive alone, but I want to come and stay up there with you. So we'll go. Of course, this one gets a hold of it, and she goes, yeah, I really want to come. I don't want you driving alone. Like, you're going to fall asleep because I always fall asleep when I do long drives. So I was like, okay, like, it'll be, like, you know, a good idea if you come. So, basically, this bitch, I get to her house. I'm like, I'm ready to go. She goes, oh, no, I have a date. I'm like, what? We have to leave now. She's like, no, I have to go on my date first. Keep in mind, this date is her working out at the gym with a random boy. I'm like, okay, you guys can work out together, and then we'll go, like, an hour later. And then she comes home, like, 3 hours later. I don't know what they were doing. And
we were literally working out for 3 hours.
Okay, who works out for 3 hours?
Guys do. And I was sitting there, he was working me the fuck out, and I was like, shit, I came here to be, like, a little fit girl, but he's really making me put in the effort. Like, I expect, like, you know, a few squats here and there, just be cute in the gym. Homeboy worked me the fuck out. Oh, my God. Yeah, go on. Danny.
Okay, so then she comes back, and then we basically are like, okay, whatever. I was like, I'm ready to leave. She's like, no, we should probably leave, like, later on, like, so we don't hit in traffic. And then even my friend was like, yeah, just leave around 12. Like, I'll be up around 6 to take my friend to the airport. Like, leave at 12 to get here at 6. 12 comes around. I'm like, I'm ready to leave. She's like, no, it's fine. Like, I just have to pack really fast. Next thing you know, it's 2 a.m., right? It's 2 a.m., and we still haven't left yet. And I'm like, oh my God, it's so late. I have to drive us. I was like, Elena, just please keep me awake while we drive. I take a shot of this 5-hour energy drink, and then I take another Monster. So I'm just like wired at this point. And then we got on the road, and not even 45 minutes into it, we're listening to a podcast. And I look over, this bitch is passed out. Okay, passed out. I'm like, great. I have to drive through the hills, through the mountains, through California, essentially, like, through the night, like, alone, like, no one watching me. I might fall asleep. I'm like, I have to pull over, like, I'm falling asleep. So we pull over, we fall asleep. I don't fall asleep because I start feeling really sick. Like, I don't feel good at all. Keep in mind, we ate In-N-Out, like, a couple hours before. I don't know what went wrong, but this bitch is passed out. We pull over so I can, like, kind of sleep, but the place we pulled over was, like, this weird gas station, and, like, trucks going in and out to get gas. They're making long drives, you know. There's, like, homeless people walking around. And where I parked, like, everyone's just walking in and out around us. And I just, like, didn't feel safe, you know? So I look over. She's sleeping. I'm trying to go to sleep, but I just see this man keep looking at us, like, through the window. So I felt like it was my job to, like, stay awake. So I didn't sleep. So I just watched this bitch get her beauty sleep on for, like, 2 or 3 hours. I went into the convenience store to throw up because I was so tired that I was, like, getting sick. And I was, like, my body was tired, but my mind was awake because of the energy drinks. And I also think I might have gotten food poisoning. So keep in mind, throughout the night, I just keep getting sick. I keep moving spots because people are, like, around us. So we end up sleeping through the night. I was like, I just want to drive and get there. It becomes next morning, right? And I feel like shit. I am throwing up nonstop. At this point, I'm like, I know I have food poisoning because every little move we make, I'm getting sick. So I'm getting sick, and I look over. This bitch wakes up from her slumber at 8 a.m. She wakes up. She's like, I feel great. I'm, like, throwing up on the side of the road. And she's like, I feel great. Goes to her Snapchat and says good morning to, like, 20 different guys. She literally went, good morning, good morning, good morning. I see her sending snaps in a row. They all have, like, streaks. I'm like, how do you have this much time? And now I know it's because of her high relationship success rate. It just all ties back into that. And long story short, right after that, I suddenly was like, honestly, Elena, just drive for me. I'm going to pull it together. We got there, like, 3 hours later. I was fine the rest of the weekend, but I had the stomach flu or food poisoning or whatever, and she's just too busy talking to all of her boyfriends.
You know, you just gotta have a boyfriend in every city, because lately I've been traveling a lot.
Okay.
And so I do this thing where, like, whenever I go to a different city, I have a boy show me around the town.
She does do that.
So, like, I'll go on a date, and I'll be like, oh, I'm not from here, show me around the town. And, like, they'll take me to all the nice scenery place, and I'm just like, oh my God, cute. Like, I was in San Jose with you, and then that's when I met that one guy, and then the chef, the business owner.
Jordan,
we'll call him Jordan. That's where I met Jordan.
Okay.
And so I had known Jordan for 4 years, but I always left him on red. I'm not even kidding. Our messages on Snapchat are just me leaving him on red, on red, on red, on red.
I saw them. I saw the messages.
I didn't respond to the guy at all. And so when I was in his area, I hit him up. I was like, I don't know what, like, possessed me to message him, but I was like, hey, I'm in the area, like, let's hang out. And he was like, oh my God, yes. Like, he was so excited. He was like, I had the biggest crush on you. Like, I've been wanting you for 4 years. I've been having the biggest crush on you for fucking 4 years. And I was like, I know, I've ignored you for 4 years. Like, I'm aware.
I know who you are.
I'm like, I'm aware of this. And so I was like, so the reason why I ignored him was because I don't know why, but I thought he was 5'9", and to me that's way too short. So I was kind of like, no, girl, do not talk to him, because, like, nothing's going to come out of this. You're just going to be leading him on, wasting your energy and time. So I was like, ugh. When I came out there, I was like, fine, I'll talk to him even though he's 5'9". I'm already in the area. So that's when I messaged him, and he got super fucking wet. He was like, yes, yes, yes. And I was like, how tall are you, by the way? And he was like, I'm 6'2". And I was like, my heart fucking dropped. And I was like, you're 6'2".
What?
I'm
oh my
like-
God, what?
I'm like, you're 6'2"? I'm
Like, say it again for the people in the back.
I'm like, why didn't I know this information? He was like, you never asked. And I was like, you're right, I never asked. I just kind of assumed you were short. And
curving a boy for 5 years.
For 4 years. I curved him for 4 fucking years. And so later I was like, oh my God, like, yes, we can totally hang out. Like, I was like, show me around the town. Like, come on, show me like this area. And so he comes by, picks me up. He's so sexy in person, so handsome, so tall.
And he was really sweet.
He was so sweet to Dani. He literally, like, we cut our date short to pick up Dani because she was drunk and her friends were drunk. We literally...
I was at the bar wasted and they picked us up.
Yeah, and he was just like, I had such an amazing date. We, like, went out with... We went out to, like, all the Christmas places. We took a bunch of Christmas photos in front of the Christmas tree. It was my first time meeting him. And I got him to, like, take photos with me and, like, just live, like, a little
Christmas Hallmark fantasy.
Yeah. And that's when... And this is when the high success relationship...
The high relationship success rate.
This is when this was brought up because him and I were talking about it because... He was like...
Okay, you said it to him.
This was when... No, yes.
He
was the first person I ever said this to because I thought about it on the spot and I was like, I'm going to bring this home to Dani and see what she thinks about this. And so when I was on the date with him, he was like, oh yeah, like I've met a lot of trans girls. I've met up with them, but I just couldn't go through with any of them because like they had a lot of masculine energy. And he told me this. And I was like, you know what? I totally get what you're talking about, except for me, it's gay energy, you know? And so... when we were talking about this, I was like, so have you ever been with a trans girl, like twitching my eye, ready for them to say, like, yeah, I've been with like 5, like I was about to like throw myself out the fucking car window. I was like, have you been with any trans girls twitching and like going fucked hard?
Her eye just, you know, like freaking the fuck out.
I was waiting for that answer to be like, yeah, I fucked like 10, you know? But he said, I met up with 2 and I couldn't go through with it because they were either too masculine, they acted too much like guys, or I could still see the guys in them. And I was like, you know what's so funny is I've never... And I told him, I was like, you know what's so funny, babe, is I can't relate to that. Like, I've never met a guy who, like, walked away from me, you know? And I was like, yeah, And that's when I said, my relationship...
High relationship success rate.
I said, my relationship success rate is just so high. Like, I've never been turned down, and I've always had so many boyfriends. And he was surprised. He was like, how many boyfriends have you had? And I was like, well, I'm 22. I've only had, like, 5. And he was like, that's still a lot, you know? And I was like, is it? And he was like, yeah.
I think it's good, though. I think it's good experience, you know?
I think it's a lot for, like, a transgender. I think a lot of them are still lonely.
She said, bitch, I'm stunting on you. What you got? How many you got?
And this is when we talked about it.
I'm just kidding.
And when we talked about it, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, like, my relationship success rate is just really high. Like, I've always been successful with getting boyfriends, you know? And I was like, I wonder why.
I don't know why we find it so funny. But she comes back and tells me about this, like, thing she came up with, and just, like, the saying itself is just so funny.
And Dan and I were just laughing about it the whole entire time. And we were like, you know what, this is, like, a joke at this point.
But it's funny, and it's true.
And it kind of, like, it's a little bit of truth behind it, because, like...
It's like, what? So she goes, yeah, like, I'm 5'2". I'm blonde. She goes, I'm blonde. I'm Asian.
The fucking Winchester house.
What?
So our friend was like, we should go to the Winchester house. And I was like, oh my God, I don't want to go. And a spirit latches on to me. So my friend was like, we should go to the Winchester house. And it's like this like super haunted, like scary house. And I told them, I was like, I mean, I don't know if I really want to go, because what if the ghost sees me and they're like, ooh, look at this blonde bombshell. I want to attach onto her. And the whole fact of just me always making it about me and my looks, like...
I go, oh my God, this fucking ghost is going to be like, ooh, I want to latch onto her. And then he's going to go inside her body and be like, or she's going to go inside her body and be like, oh my God, she has a dick. Oh my God, she has a dick.
The ghost is gonna be stuck in my body. He's like, oh my God, this blonde bombshell's so hot. And then now it's like, oh my God, it's a transsexual.
Actually, that.
But yeah.
It was just funny because we all wanted to go, and she was being serious when she said this. She was being serious. She goes, no, I can't go there. They might possess me because I'm so hot and blonde.
I'm like, what did you see this hot blonde bombshell?
Okay, I need to stop. Okay. Anyways, it was really funny. Yeah.
It's just so funny because I'm just so in my head. Like,
she's actually so delusional that everyone around her is just like, like, we're all just not fazed by it. But if somebody who doesn't know her, like, meets her, they're like, what the fuck are you on? Like, actually.
And that's why my success rate is just
That's why her high success rate is just that high.
Because my personality just goes so well with my looks and my 5'2"ness.
Funny that you're
Oh
so
my god,
funny.
my jaw's actually hurting from how much I'm laughing.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when I brought up to him, and he was like, "Oh wow, like you really." He was like, "Yeah." That's when he was like, "Oh my god, I would totally like be with you. Like I do want to be with you." Like he was like, "I could totally bring you home to my parents, and no one would know." He was like, "You're just like you're like a girl. Your voice sounds like a woman." And I was like, "Hold the fuck up." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Usually it's my voice that gives it away." And he was like, "No, your voice sounds good." And I was like, "Oh, don't tell me that. It's going to my fucking head in this very moment."
No, I even told her today, I was like, your voice actually does sound good. Like, we go out together, and, like, my voice will get us clocked. Like, it has before, it just does, whatever. But she, like, we even listened to that podcast earlier of ourselves talking. We were talking about this, our voices and stuff. And I just see you with the way...
It sounds like a gay boy podcast. Like, two gay guys.
No, yeah, no, but then I see you in public, and I see the way you interact with people. And, like, okay, her and I went to Hot Pot, or, Shabu Shabu over in San Jose. And we went, a group of us, and she is being so loud. So loud. Like, in my head, I'm like, shut the fuck up. She's being loud, she's acting so funny, but just loud and deep voices and everything. No one bats an eye. None of the people around us, the tables were really close to us. No one looked over. And I'm like, wow, your voice must actually be... Because I know Elena as Elena, and I just know how her voice can get. And I'm just like, no, you have a boy voice. But then I'm like, I hear her out in public, and no one looks over. Like, no one says anything. And it's just so funny. And that's why she's so the way she is, like this. Because she's never had any discrimination. Look at her. She's never been hate crimed. She's never been hate crimed. So she lives in her delusions, and people just, like, let her.
I mean, and then I got robbed.
Okay, she's been robbed, but that's a different story. That wasn't because she's trans.
He just robbed me because
that's because she's expensive.
There's just too much fucking drip, baby. He said, I want some of her fucking coin. Oh my god, it's James' birthday. I gotta call him. Oh my god, James, actually. James is this guy that I met him so authentically like a few years ago. We're gonna call him in a second. So I met him because we were at Pacific City. And
I love that area. Super pretty.
No, he's so hot too. And so
I met him. He came up to you.
He was so hot, and so he like asked for my number, but I was already walking away. So I shouted across the room. I was like, and I was shouting my fucking number, and then he missed the last digits, but the couple next to them heard him. The couple next to him heard the last digits.
Is this a real story, or is this something out of a book?
It is, which is why I'm in love with him, because we met so nicely. So
I think you told me the story before.
Oh, of course I have. I was leaving.
Wait, this was how many years ago?
I was in college. So like...
You didn't know me yet?
I didn't know you yet.
But I've heard the story before. You must have told me.
Yeah, because I still talk to James.
Okay, go on.
And so I was telling you how I met him. And so he asked for my number, but I was already leaving. And I was like, oh, like screaming it as I'm walking. And then he missed the last two numbers, but then the couples next to him got it. So they said, oh, her last two digits are this. And then he texted me, and then he was like, oh, yeah, like, I totally didn't hear the last two parts, but, like, these couples heard me. And so we went...
These couples. Was it one couple or two?
One couple, I'm sorry. I'm thinking
this
two
couple.
I'm thinking
okay,
two people.
Okay, got it.
And so we went out to go get Thai food, and he didn't know tea at all.
Oh, you went out with him?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
He didn't know tea, and then later I finally told him. Homeboy was in love with me still, and we just kept talking for, like, 3 years, on and off, on and off, on and off.
Wait, then why don't you date him?
Because
I guess you don't date everyone, you just like me. But but I mean, I feel like with trans girls, it's like, oh, he's okay with your tea and he's cute. Why not date him?
If I'm gonna be honest, the reason why I didn't date him was because he was 5'11".
You're 5'2".
I know, but like I know if I'm with someone with the 5, that if a 6'2" walks in, my neck's gonna break for him.
And you don't want to disrespect him like that.
And I the thing is, I don't want to settle. It's because like, well, back to what I'm saying, you guys. My relationship success rate is so high. It's just so high that I know I could get a hot 6'2" boyfriend. I know I can get someone hot if I really wanted to. So it's like, why am I gonna settle for a 5'11" when I know I can get a 6'2" no problem?
Maybe because like There's this thing called personality, and
I know,
some
but
people
like,
have it.
I know, but like 6'2", like bitch 6'5", 6'3", 6'4", like a 6 in the beginning, like me being
You are so
like just
funny.
me being 5'2" and a big grown man behind me being tall, like slender man who? Like, are you
Okay,
kidding?
this is a fun question. Let's ask her, you guys. You meet the love of your life. Love of your life. You've never been so happy. He never makes you laugh as much as anyone. Or, I mean, he makes you laugh as much as, like, more than anyone.
Okay.
I'm drunk, FYI. Anyways, amazing guy. 10 out of 10. 20 out of 10.
Okay.
Anyways, you meet him. 5'10". We'll say 5'11". We'll say 5'11".
Okay.
You already know where it's going. You meet a 6'5" boring guy with a big fat dick. You guys have really good sex, but it's like more sexual. But he claims he wants to date you, but it's like whatever. It's very fuckboyish, and you don't really trust him. Which one are you going with?
The fuckboy.
Okay, that's what
Because
I assumed. That's what we all assumed, and that's what we knew.
I had the 5'9". Remember, he was at my ass for 4 years.
Which one?
One that I went out with.
He wasn't actually 5'9".
I thought he was 5'9", and he was still up my ass, and like gave me all the attention that I wanted, and I curved him every time. You know, he could have been the perfect guy, but I still wouldn't have entertained because he was short. And when I found out he was tall, bitch, I hopped in that car real quick. Do you know what I mean? So it's like he could be the perfect man.
Okay, honestly, in all honesty, aside from like her like delusions, they were really cute together. I must admit, it was really fun watching them.
Oh, you thought we were so cute together? Do we look good together?
You looked really good together. Because we were all out. So basically, I was out with my friends that live over there. We ran into like actually Aaliyah and Zahira. They were over there too, and we were all just like outside of the bars, like because they were supposed to come meet us at the bars, but the bars closed before they got there. So when they got there, I went
on a date with him. That's when he showed me the whole town. We had a little Hallmark date.
But we were like an hour away. We were in San Jose. So they were in San Francisco. We were in San Jose. They came to pick us up and potentially come into the bars, but by the time they got there, the bars were closed. So we were just like all like out in the streets, and they just looked really cute next to each other. And
because he was just so much taller than me, and
he was taller than her. They just complimented each other well, and their chemistry was really cute.
He was brunette, and like he had dark hair, and I had blonde. And
I was so wasted, but I did see that.
He was so cute.
Oh, that's cute.
He's so cute.
Yeah.
But girl, if he was 5'9", he could still be left on red, you know? Because then he wouldn't be as cute next to me because we'd be looking like little short
You need to work
dumplings.
on that. You know, height's not everything. Personality is.
But
also, I agree with that.
But it is.
I know, I agree with you too.
See, I'm a really shallow person, you guys. And I feel like the reason why I'm so shallow is because I can be. Like, a lot of girls, it's like, if you're hella fucking single all the time and you're shallow and you're picky, babe, that's why. I'm shallow and picky, and I still pull the ones that I want. Does that make sense? So it's kind of like I have the right to be shallow and picky because what I want, I will get. But if I'm over here, like...
She's confident, you guys.
Let's
all give it up for her and her high success rate.
I'm a very confident person, and I feel that's a good energy to have because, like, if you are constantly, like, crying about how single you are, but yet you have all these high standards, bitch, lower them because you're not that bad yourself. And there's a reason why, because if you had these high standards and you are a bad bitch... you'd be able to pull these guys that you set these expectations for. Me, however, I pull them all the time because I am a bad bitch, and I pull them every time. So of course, it's like, why would I settle for someone short when I know I can get
something?
Yeah, go for it.
It's super random and doesn't really tie into anything, but you've had many hair colors. Did you pull more when you're brunette or blonde?
Blonde. And there's a reason why I'm saying blonde. I've always told myself, and I tell everyone, on my wedding day, I will go back to brown, and I will say brown after marriage, because blonde is what attracts them. It's what pulls them in, because it's just so bright. And once they're hooked, they're hooked. But when I'm in a happy, successful relationship, I will go back to brunette, because that's me retiring my hotness.
So how many relationships were you brunette? Taylor, you're a brunette. Well, you were like hella colors with him.
But I was mainly brunette.
Okay. Who else?
Sam, I was brunette.
Okay.
My first boyfriend ever. Taylor, my fiance, I was brunette.
You were red also, I think.
I was in Cosmo school.
Yeah, okay.
So I was
you were
just
experimenting.
But I was mainly brunette. Like all of our photos together, I was mainly brunette.
Got it.
And then the rest afterwards were all blonde. Safira was blonde. Trevi was brunette. Trevi was brunette.
When was Trevi?
Trevi was when
Before Safira or after?
Trevi was when I was in high school. Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait, I totally forgot about my other boyfriend, Curtis.
The one I hooked up with.
No, yes. So I didn't know her.
I didn't know her yet.
I totally forgot about this boyfriend. Because I just have so many.
I hooked up with the boyfriend, but he wiped her because she has such a high relationship success
So he
rate.
hooked up with Danny, but he wiped me, and he gave me the girlfriend title, basically. But he was at my graduation. He was at my...
He looks like Superman.
He was so handsome. Honestly, he did look like Superman. He was so sexy.
Wasn't that his, like, Instagram name, too?
Yes, but we're not going to say because they're going to follow him.
Okay.
But Curtis was super cute. Like, everyone that, like, had met him thought he was so handsome. And my high school graduation, he came. We have literally a photo together. I will post it here. We have a photo together, and he met my family, and it was just super cute. I've totally forgot him. I forgot that I was his girlfriend. Like, that's how, like, I'm just, wow, like, there's just so many.
Side note, since we're talking about Curtis and how we both, like, you dated him and I hooked up with him, there was this other guy, I'm not going to name him.
Who? Oh, my God.
Okay, no, this is funny because, okay, so I knew who Elena was before we met. Like, I've seen her videos. I didn't watch them religiously, but, like, that one dildo video came up on my YouTube and I watched it, surprisingly. Anyways, point being, I hook up with this guy, right? We're hooking up. After we're done, like, I think he, like, comes in me. Like, actually. And after we're done, I'm like, so let me ask you, like, have you hooked up with another trans girl before? He goes, yeah, that girl, Elena Genevieve, from, like, the YouTube. I'm like, oh, I've seen a video. Keep in mind, me and her didn't become best friends for, like, 2 years. Like, I didn't meet her yet. Like, we weren't friends. And it was just the funniest thing because that's two guys we've already hooked up with before. Like, I hooked up with her boyfriend, Curtis, before I knew her. And I don't know if it was before or after you. But basically, that's, like, two guys I've hooked up with before I met you. And, like, that just shows how small the trans community, like, dating community is.
They just all, like, tie into each other.
We all just tie into each other.
And with that being said, it's like, they'll fuck all these girls, so they'll come back and wife me up.
But they'll date her. They'll fuck me, but they'll date her.
And it's so weird because, like, I'm not all that great. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm actually really shallow. I'm a really shitty person. I'm super selfish. Like, I'm really vain. I'm really conceited as well. Everything about me reeks transgender, my entire podcast. Like, I have a podcast where I talk about disgusting things. Like, I talk about dirty, vile things. I have sex tapes out there on my OnlyFans.
Hey, no, but you guys, it's okay. She's 5'2".
Exactly. And I'm blonde and I'm hot. Like,
got it.
Like,
an Asian.
Like, it confuses me. It baffles me because I actually have so many bad qualities, but yet they all want to just cuff me up and make me their girlfriend, which is weird because...
No, honestly, though, Elena, like, you act a certain way. You act shitty. You put on this persona. But I've seen her with guys, and she does act really sweet with them, which is why I understand why they cuff you up.
But then it's kind of like,
you are shitty. I'm not saying you're not.
Oh, no, I am a shitty person.
I'm just saying, you put on an act with the boys, and you're like, this little delicate flower. I mean, I do the same thing. I think as humans, we all do that. But, like, yours is very powerful. This guy the other day was on the phone with her, and he goes, you're just, like, the sweetest person I've ever met. And I'm like... I'm like, she's the sweetest person you've ever met.
Because in reality, between the both of us.
That's like saying rock is the softest thing I've ever felt.
Danny!
Oh, I'm so sorry.
No, because between the two of us, Danny is such a sweet, loving person. Like, Danny's personality is what I aspire to be. Because she's just so empathetic. And she's just so, like, sweet. And such a humbling girl. And then there's me. I'm like Mother Gothel. Like, I'm the most evilest, vain, conceited person ever who makes taboo topics on podcasts and has sex tapes out there. Like, I'm not the type you bring home to mom, but yet they bring me home to mom. So it's so weird. And I'm
funny.
like...
It's crazy.
It's crazy. It's funny. And
it's just the way the world works. And it is what it is.
And I don't know why.
Because it's your luck, your high relationship success rate.
So, with that being said, Danny, what would you tell to other girls on TikTok with low success rates in relationships?
I'd say stop posting those videos and start making things that are a little bit more uplifting.
I
Because
say
you're probably beautiful and you shouldn't be acting that way.
Mm-hmm. I say get out of your comfort zone. For once, put that tranny act down. Show your personality for once. Try to make a TikTok without bringing your transgenderness into it.
I mean, I feel like there can be a video, like, if they want it out that they're trans, go for it. There can be a couple of videos, but, like, your whole page... I've seen so many where it's their whole page.
It shouldn't be your entire personality.
Exactly.
And, you guys can sit here and say, like, oh, my God, this whole, like, trans girls can't finding love thing is a joke. or like it's not, because tell me how the dragon made a whole show about it.
Nikita?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Like, if it's false, because there will be bitches in the comments being like, oh my god, I'm married for 15 years.
All the comments that one podcast were like, I'm married, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah,
I'm
like,
married,
they're
what
over
are you
here
talking
like,
about?
oh, well, these girls don't know what they're talking about because I'm married, I found love. Well, if you don't know what we're talking about, then why didn't Nikita make a whole ass show about how she can't find love? Like,
And she's so hot, so why is she making a show about that?
like, it's like, Nikita's hot.
Like, go be hot and go get a boyfriend.
Like, exactly. Like, she's hot. She has all the surgery. And it's like, why is it that she still can't find love? And it goes down to just like, it's really hard for trans girls to find love. And that's just what this whole topic is talking about. Like, trans girls can't find love. And it goes down to just like being too much for these straight guys to like handle. And that's why like it's just a lot for them to commit to and settle down with. So they rather date someone basic, because at the end of
Are you calling cis girls basic?
Girl, they are basic, like, compared to trans.
No, we're not going to put down cisgender girls.
Well, think about it this way. You've seen trans girls do the gig.
Not me finishing
like
my wine
trans,
again.
Like, trans girls, they do shit, like, over the top. They're extra in a good way. Like, they put a lot more effort into their look because they were stripped from that growing up. So now that they have it, they're going to put a lot more effort. It's like what Trisha said. When you date a trans girl, every day is Valentine's Day because they put so much effort into it. And it's like, they're perfect.
She said that?
Yeah. She said that dating a trans girl is kind of like every day's Valentine's Day because we appreciate our womanhood so much more. And a cis girl, it's like they literally put on concealer and mascara and like they call it a day, and sometimes that's even considered too much for them. You know? Like,
but that's okay. Like, there's no, like, I don't know. Me just being...
It's okay, and it's okay, but you have to admit it's a little basic. Like, bitch, how are these trans girls going to put in so much effort and you're going to do that?
And we're still going to be called the men. If that makes sense. Is that what you're saying?
And it's kind of like, okay. Yeah, like, we embody so much more feminine energy. And these guys, at the end of the day, they will pick that basicness over the tranny energy. Because even though, like, we think it's what they want, it's just too much for them to handle. And that goes down to what I was saying. Like, for those girls who are crying about how they can't find love, try for once toning it down and being basic. Maybe that will, like target what the guys like, because even though we're not living for these guys like a certain type of look and a certain type of style, and that's like cisness. And it's true.
Cisness.
It's
that was really close.
It's
Cisness.
what they fucking like. And when you behave just too outlandishly tranny, you have too much gay boy energy, they're looking at you as kind of like as a straight man, it's already hard for them to look at you as a girl. Do you know what I mean? Because with society, people being like, oh, those are still guys, those are still men.
I stopped thinking about the way people view me a long time ago because of that reason. I was like, if I think about the way every person thinks of me, I'm going to kill myself.
But yeah, a lot of guys, it's hard for them to look at girls. It's hard for them to look at trans girls as girls because there's so many people around them telling them in their ear, like, oh yeah, that's a guy, that's a guy, that's a guy. So you kind of have to like even work harder to be cis to really sell the fantasy. Because if you just have a little bit of gayness, he's going to be like, oh my God, this is a gay boy. You know, and like, it sucks, but babe, like, that's the reality of it. Like, we've seen it happen firsthand. We've witnessed it ourselves. So it's like, we do know what we're talking about. You may not have experienced it, but me and Danny have. Like, we've seen it firsthand. We've heard it from these guys firsthand. Like, it's real. That's how guys view us. And it's like, if you want to find love from these guys, from the guys that you're targeting, these really, really straight men, you better fucking, like, feminize the fuck out of yourself, because this gay energy is just not going to cut it for them. And that's the reality of it. Mic drop.
Oh, she said mic drop. I'm like, wine drop. Just kidding.
But that's just that. And this episode might get so much backlash, but quite frankly, I don't give a fuck, because
I think this is our most real episode.
Because somebody had to fucking say it. Like, we joke around to a certain extent, but like, this is like really real. Like, trans girls can't find love, and that's because they're just too tranny. Like, they're just too much. Like, I've met some trans girls where I'm like, oh my God, you embody so much cis energy. I didn't even know you were trans.
No, literally. And that's, yeah.
And those are the girls, if you talk to them, they're always getting boyfriends. But the trans girls who are just very like...
I'm thinking of someone right now.
Like, the trans girls who are just very like giving that gay energy very much so, just always surrounded by like the LGBT community. It's like, those are the girls who are always single because it's a lot for a man to handle. And we're not saying it's wrong. But if you're wondering as to why you're single, that's probably the reason why.
Okay, I wouldn't jump to that. But I would just say that there's just a lot going on, and I think that just contributes to the idea of what's happening. But I think the ultimate point of this video was to mention that, did you guys know that Elena has such a high relationship success rate?
Oh, yeah, if you guys didn't know, now you guys do. And if you guys don't want to, well, please pick me, choose me, love me, because I'm a hot 5'2" and a blonde bomb.
You're a coward. You're scared of love.
You don't fight for love, you run from it. But yeah, you guys, so I just wanted to, like, I just think that if anyone's going to talk about this topic, it should be me. Someone who's just had so many boyfriends and a super what, Dani?
What do you mean super what?
A super high relationship success rate.
No, she has a super high relationship success rate. And that's okay. We all wish for that. Actually, I don't want that. I want one relationship success rate. You just have a high one because you date so much.
Because I don't want, like, I
just want one good super relationship success rate.
Mm-hmm. I think I want one, but then I'm kind of just like, I get bored. And then I have this other hotter guy who wants to commit to me, and I'm like, okay.
That's why hers is up here, you guys.
Yeah.
Because she just keeps getting bored.
Well, the thing is kind of like, I have so many boyfriends because I'm kind of just like, I have a hot boyfriend now, but then, like, I see this other hot guy, and he wants to commit to me as well, too. So I'm going to wait till this relationship gets broken up, and then I'm going to go date that guy, and guess what? When I'm ready, he'll say yes.
Oh, and we can't forget about all of her different personalities, you know?
Oh, my God,
They all play a part in that as well.
I have so many personalities. Like, when I meet a guy, I will always just, like, find a way to embody myself to be, like, their perfect girl. You like this? Oh, my God, me too.
Elena's just not a real person, end of story.
Like, when they play a song, I'm shazamming on the side of the car, and I'm like, is this who I think it is? And they're like, oh, my God, you know that?
You know who is that?
Who?
If you guys watch Pretty Little Liars, Alison DeLaurentis is that.
I'm literally her.
There's an episode where Ezra Fitz, the teacher, is like, I like, whatever, something, the book or whatever. And then she Googles it and she goes, I love sunning in the French Riviera. And he goes, people still do that? That's from this book or whatever. And then they start talking about the book.
That's literally me. So like when a guy talks...
But she Googled it? Like,
yeah,
to know
for
what
me,
he's
I'm
talking
shazamming in
about.
the car, and I'm like, I love this song. How did you know? And then I'm like, wait, is this? And I see the name title, and they're like, yes. How do you know them? And I'm like...
You're Allison and I'm Hannah.
Yeah, literally. Like, I sculpt myself to be the perfect woman, and that's why they're so obsessed. And it's like, my success rate is just so high.
The success.
I can't take it anymore. Like, I need to just...
I want to see all of you hashtagging high relationship success rate tomorrow on Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
Tag us in it. We'll repost it.
And I would love it so much. But this wraps up this podcast. Hopefully you guys learned something. They're like, yeah, we learned that Elena's a piece of shit.
So, like, we learned that you guys are superficial and stupid as fuck.
But you know what? Somebody had to say it, and like, you guys can sit here and like hate on it, but guess what? You'll come back and listen to it. So.
No, but we just want, this is like the perfect first episode to kick off season 2.
And we're back, and it's just gonna get worse.
It's just gonna get messier, you guys. I mean, look, maybe next time it'll be 3 glasses of wine.
Oh my God, can we talk about the Planet Tranny?
Are we gonna do that right now?
So there's this Instagram page called the Planet Tranny, and they are literally like a gossip page, and they just literally gossip so much about every trans girl in the community. And I think it's so genius because at one point everyone thought it was me, and I thought
it was her. I yelled. I came over one day and I was like, Elena, if this is you, tell me now so I can at least know you and know what you're posting.
But it wasn't me. But I thought it was. I reposted it on my Instagram because I was like, oh my God, this is so genius. It's like a gossip girl, but for trans only. And
it's real. It's real stuff.
It's real stuff. And it was just so, there was so many people, like, to show how shitty it is, so many trans girls sending in, like, gossip to this account, and the account was posting it. And I thought that was so genius, but the account was definitely holding back. And I told the account, I was kind of just like, I kind of one day want to just, like, take over, because if I took over that account...
She messaged the account.
Yeah, and I was like, baby, you're being too soft. You need to hit these girls harder. Like, baby, like, you need to really, like, if you're going to be this page of gossip and really be a gossip girl page, Gossip Girl never held back, baby. Why are you?
They really didn't. They were ruining marriages. They were ruining everything.
Exactly. And so, like, when I saw this page, I was like, oh my God, this page is so brilliant. It's the perfect amount of drama that we fucking need. And I told them, I was like, baby, you need to hit them harder. Like, you're being too nice. Like, if I had that account for a day, the damage that I would fucking do, I will literally post bad stuff about myself, about everyone, because people fucking love drama. Like,
no, even till this day, the other day, I'm like, Elena, it's not you, right?
It's not me. But a lot of these girls on the internet want to sit here and play goody two-shoes and be like, you guys are so problematic, you guys are awful, but those are the same fucking bitches sending in tips to this page to post. Those are the same girls feeding into the fucking drama. So that's why I don't feel bad about sitting here talking about this the way that we do, because guess what? They're going to sit here and give us backlash.
They're shitty people.
They're just as shitty because they're the same people sending in like, oh, post this about this person.
Yeah, Planet Tyranny, if you're listening, keep me out of your mouth. I've been literally being posted quite a lot lately. And why is that?
Fuck that. Run this bitch for her fucking life. Post everyone. Post about me. Like, shit.
Don't post me.
Back.
I don't want to see me getting fucking attacked by Bianca Trujillo.
And, like, now it's,
Thank
like, called
you.
the T-Girl Archive, which is
Right.
cute, too. But it's like, you guys, like, don't sit here and act like you're so innocent because you guys are just as fucking bad. But, yeah. With that being said, we're probably the most realist bitch that you guys are ever going to meet.
And at the end of the day, you're lucky that you have us.
Because we're going to guide you. Because we went through all this, you guys. Not us being pick-me trannies.
No, I'm just playing with you guys because I'm drunk. Honestly, thank you guys for watching us. I'm not a bitch, I promise. And
I'm just a little bit of
she's sober, so she has no excuse.
Yeah, I'm just an awful person, but guys,
we just got back from the bay, and I'm like, let's just get wasted. And now we're gonna go eat these little like shrimp chips that we got.
Ooh.
And they're so yummy.
But with that being said, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. Leave a comment down below what you guys think of the high relationship success rate.
High relationship success rate. I want you guys all using it in your
like
lingo.
Tell me if you guys know like it's a thing, like it actually is.
No, it totally is a thing. Because I know there are other trans girls out there that have a high relationship success rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know who they are.
And those are the really cis one. They're south. No one knows they're trans.
If you have an HRSR,
DM us.
Or
we'll keep your secrets
safe. Comment, and we will respond.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't, we'll still respond.
Yeah. But thank you guys so much for listening to this podcast. Until next
time, you guys.
Yeah. Anything you want to plug, Danny? Oh, of course.
Oh, my
OnlyFans.com/Danielle.
I think it's Danielle Taylor XO.
And then obviously mine is Elena Genevieve.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, OnlyFans, like, they made this new... we're not even going to talk about it, but...
We'll get into it soon.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, you guys, we are back. And until our next episode, bye, you guys.